Right now. Okay. All right. We are live. We'll wait a couple minutes, let a few people come in and everything. If you're on and you hear me and my guest, just send me a one, let me know. And let's see. I'm going to put a thing. Welcome to the show. Okay, I'm putting it in my live chat. I just put welcome to the show. Okay, well, okay, we got a couple people. Okay, um, I'll go ahead and start, and I'll do the introduction. And ladies, whatever you want to say, your opinions, anything, um, you're welcome. Just let it rip. We're not so much attacking these dating guru specialists, but we're going to give our opinion. But you're free to say what you want, and as long as you want to stay on the live, you can. I don't expect you to stay through the whole show, but if you want to, you can too. And we'll go till we get tired of talking and we run out of things to say. And we're just going to have fun with this. And I'm excited, and I'm glad you joined me, Patrice and Lorraine.
Loren.
Loren. Okay, Loren. Glad to have you. I really appreciate you coming on. And anyway, this is going to be fun. So excited. Anyway, I'll go ahead and start. Hey, welcome everybody to the Roadrunner Live
This is
Show.
going to be fun. So excited.
Okay, I got some.
Oh, I'm sorry. I muted my I had the YouTube going in the background. I muted it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry
I
about
just
that.
heard my voice echo, and it was kind of funny. But anyway, welcome to the Roadrunner Live Show. This is the third time we've done this, and I'm excited this evening to talk. We're going to talk about these dating guru specialists, the ones that are the subject matter experts and going to tell us how to have a quality man, quality woman, or whatever. And is it toxic or is it helpful? Do they have all the answers? Who knows? We're going to talk about that. We're going to give our opinion. And anyway, I just want to welcome everybody to the show, everybody that's watching. And I'd like to say, welcome to my guest, Patrice. You've been on before. And Loren, thank you for joining from New York. You're quite a ways away.
Yeah.
And, I'm glad to have you. It's going to be very exciting.
Glad to be here.
Oh, thank you. And Patrice, you've been a guest before. Glad to have you too. We had a good one-on-one. Enjoyed that so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brent. Glad to be back. And this is going to be an interesting topic and conversation to talk about. So I'm excited to be here, excited to get into it. And Loren, it's so nice to meet you. And yeah, let's do this. I'm excited.
Yeah, let's do it. What we're going to talk about is these dating gurus, these people that tell us how to find high value men, women, this and that, and give us some little dating advice. Okay. I'll give a short introduction of my story. I've been married to my wife 27 years. She's a black woman. I'm a white guy. And of course, we've had some issues about other people and their opinions on our special relationship. But you know what? Me and my wife, we could care less. We love each other, and we've been blessed for many years. And we're middle-aged. We're a middle-aged couple. I'm 52 years old. My wife is 53, and all our kids are grown. All our kids are, except our youngest daughter's 19. She's going to the University of New Mexico. Our oldest daughter graduated from Arizona State University. And our son's in the Army. He's an NCO, and he's doing good things. And our kids are grown right now, and we do have a granddaughter. My oldest daughter's married to an awesome guy, and he's in the Air Force. And we got a granddaughter that's like 4 years old, and that's our family history. But me and my wife, we've been blessed, and I found an awesome moment. And I say this in my videos, and I talk about Black women, and that's always been my preference. And even when I was a boy to when I became a man, that's always what I was attracted to. And not to say that other women ain't beautiful, because they are. But we all have our preferences, right? And something attracts us to a certain person. And regardless of where you go with that, I back it up. I support it 100%. Whether you're a white guy with a black woman, a black guy with a white woman, a Chinese guy with a Mexican girl, or whatever, I totally back it up, because you should go where your heart is. And that's how I feel, because that's just me, and me as an individual. That's what I was attracted to, and I found awesome qualities when it came to Black women, and I've just always loved being around them. Even the friends I got today, and I don't look them the same way as I do my wife, of course, but I mean, I see certain awesome qualities that I've been able to connect with. And not to say I can't connect with other women like that, but it's just been an awesome experience. And it led me to my wife, and we've been married for several years, and it's been awesome the whole way. Was our marriage perfect? No, of course we fought and we got under each other's nerves. And crazy thing is my wife is they say that a man marries a woman like his mom, and a woman marries a guy like her dad, right? Me, it's not so much. In fact, and this sounds kind of weird, but my wife is so much like my dad, it's not even funny. She's like a neat freak. She like when it comes to toothpaste, she wants to get every drop, and I'm just like, oh my God, you're like my dad all over again. But and I love my mom. Don't get me wrong. It's just weird that way. And my daughters, the guys that they're with, and my oldest daughter's husband is kind of like me. They're both military guys, and it's kind of weird. They're kind of like me. And my wife says, "Oh my God, your daughter's married you all over again." But anyway, but that's just a little history on me. And I've had a blessed relationship with my wife. My marriage has been awesome, and we just hit 27 years. And and we're going to hit 27 more, and 27 more, and 27 more, until we hit eternity. And when I married my wife, I knew it was going to last forever. And a lot of people in my family says, you know what? There's that racial divide. There's people, they ain't going to like it. You know what? She's an awesome girl, and she's got a good person, but you might want to think about that. Okay. Well, I threw that out the window, and I jumped right in with my wife, and you know what? I've been blessed and haven't looked back ever since. But that's just my story. And but anyway, we'll talk on the subject. If any of you ladies want to introduce yourself real quick before we get started, you can. If you don't want to.
Sure, definitely.
Okay.
My name is Loren. I live in New York. I guess I've accidentally found this part of YouTube a long time, like years ago, and I kind of just noticed that there is these I don't know, overly angry. It seemed like the very disillusioned men online on YouTube, and I kind of was like, this is a weird side of YouTube, but I kind of just disregarded it, and that was literally 10 years ago. Okay, there's been guys that are around now that have been on since like 10 years ago when I first saw them. And they're still here. And they're probably 10 times as angry as they were when I first saw them. And not only that, the space has grown. So because it seems like it's still growing, I've kind of gotten involved with a few other channels. I've kind of gotten involved with just like, I don't know. I'm not so worried about like some of the craziness. It's more like you do need people to kind of information that's coming out. You know what I mean? You need people that give that balanced perspective, because are there issues? Yes. Is it anything like what people say that it is? No. A lot of it is just really crazy. And so I don't have a YouTube channel because I can't handle the toxicness of this space for too long. So I usually come on to streams. I'm a regular on the channel called The Honest Truth. It's a really good channel. You guys should look at it. Yeah.
I'll do it. Yeah. Honest Truth.
I was following Lexus Exodus for a while before I found you.
Yeah, I had a good show with her.
Yeah, I saw the show. I was like, oh my goodness, look at him
really
growing.
Well.
Yeah. So there's a lot of channels. There's another channel that there's a lot of other there's actually really good dating coaches on YouTube as well, which we can talk about later, because there's some really good advice on here too. So also the other thing about myself is that I have is it okay if I talk about my business?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Oh. Yes,
Yeah,
I have a candle boutique shop, which is part of what I got into because of Corona. New York was just like, New York is still to this day nothing like, it's like this like post coronavirus. New York City is like, I don't even recognize New York anymore. But anyway, so I had to kind of adjust and get more creative and stuff like that. So my candle shop is uniqueboutiquecandles.com. I carry all sorts of different kinds of men's fragrances, women's fragrances, event candles and stuff like that. And like I'm an artist, and I went to school for animation and film. So I've always been a very creative person. So all of my candles are very like highly decorated and stylized and designed and stuff like that. So they're really fun. So that's part of also what I do.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome. If I'm ever in New York, I'm going to check you out.
My candles it's all online. I don't have a store.
Oh, you don't have a shop?
Yeah, it's
online?
online. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what's your website? Or
it's a uniqueboutiquecandles.com. Should I put it in the chat?
Yeah, put it in the chat, because I'll check it out. My wife probably interested in it and stuff. Yeah. And some of our viewers, they might want to check you out too. Yeah, put it in the chat. Yeah. Throw it out there. We'll definitely check you out.
Absolutely. Because I love candles. And do you have scented? Your candles are scented candles?
Yes. Wait.
Oh, I love scented candles. I love them. So yeah, definitely put the link to your website. And I'll definitely check it out. And if I see something I like, I will support.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You probably get my wife and daughters into that, because they're into that stuff too. So yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, put it in the chat, most definitely.
Right.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Well,
we'll check out your business and
yeah, and well, most of your subscribers, they probably already familiar with me. You and I did an interview a couple of weeks ago.
Last Sunday,
yeah, but just to give a brief about me. Of course, my name is Patrice, and I live in Arizona. I just relocated from Las Vegas, Nevada a few months ago, so I'm new to Arizona. And I am also an entertainer. I performed in Las Vegas on the Strip, did a show there called Solid Gold Soul at Bally's. I did that for 2.5 years. I am also very creative and artistic mind. I love performing, singing, doing stage plays and musicals. So I love acting as well. So I'm heavily involved in the theater community in Las Vegas, Nevada. I did 3 stage plays thus far. I want to take a trip actually to New York, because I understand that Broadway is opening back up. So I want to take a trip there soon to take on Broadway. I've never did that. I've always wanted to do it, so I'm excited about doing that towards the end of this year. But I've been dating interracially exclusively for about 14, 15 years now. Once I moved from my hometown of Chicago to Las Vegas, I was telling Brent when I did my interview with him that I'm finding it very different and interesting out here in Arizona, because Arizona, of course, is a very conservative state. So it's just kind of interesting trying to find someone, a man to date. I don't exclude myself from dating Black men either, because if I find someone I'm attracted to that's Black, happen to be Black, then I want to date them, I'll date them. But I just told that the story of me and my experience with finding that most Caucasian men have been more attracted to me than Black men lately. So that's what I've been doing exclusively for the last few years. I was engaged before with my last mate. We were 6 years in. And then the last relationship lasted 2.5 years, and both of those guys were Caucasian men. So I'm leaving myself open to love in general. And once I left myself open and broadened my horizons to date outside my race, it just opened up a whole new avenue for me in exploring and broadening my horizons when it comes to race, and not just only having myself subjective to only dating men that are of my race. I think that for people that want to do it or choose to do it or thinking about doing it, I think that they should definitely jump in and give that experience a try, and not leave yourself so secluded to one particular thing if that's what you want to do. So yeah, so I'm new to Arizona, finding my way, and getting out there with the dating experience, and it's interesting to say the least. But I think the influence of a lot of these dating relationship gurus, if you will, can cause and wreak a lot of havoc on swaying people a certain way. And that's the type of thing I want to talk about, is the being careful about who you give your energy to, being careful about who you give your time to, who you listen to, and just leave yourself open to really think about some of the things that they say that can be problematic in a relationship. So yeah, and it's two sides to that coin. So those are some of the things I want to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, and what you're saying, you say that white men are attracted to you, and the tides are changing. And when it comes to interracial dating, it's happening more and more as we speak. And my time growing up, and I'm a Gen X person, and I was born in the 60s, grew up in the 70s. And I seen Black men with white women, and I hardly ever seen a white man with a Black woman back in the day. And even when I was a little kid, I was like, oh, okay, white men ain't allowed to do it. Because, when you're a little kid, you look at things kind of logically.
Brent, I just want to say real fast, I literally thought that was illegal when I first saw it. When I was a kid, I saw a white man with a Black woman. I was like, is that legal? Are they allowed to do that? Because I had never seen it before in real life. And it was like one of the most, it was like a very, very, I still remember it, like picture clear to this day. It's really corporate white guy. Like, think about the most corporate white guy. He had a suit on, he had like a part in his hair and slicked down and everything. And he was with this Black woman who was really dark, and she had this really big, thick afro. And she was like, they were like holding hands. And I mean, everyone was like looking at them walking down the street too. Everyone was like watching them.
Yeah, back in the day, I thought it was like, okay, it's not happening. It's going one way, but not the other. So I guess not allowed the other way. And, growing up, I was attracted to Black women. I was like, a light bulb went out in my head. I was like, okay, these Black guys are going one way. Can I go the other way with this? But Yeah, and you're seeing it more often with white men with black women, or other races like Hispanic or Asian with black women. I got this Japanese guy I work with at work, and he loves black women, and and you're seeing it more and more. It's more like we're allowed to express that we love black women. And me, I was one of those weirdos that back in the day, that's what I liked. And when I was with my friends, I always had the black girlfriend. And in my state, I'm in New Mexico, so the biggest majority is Hispanic, and shortly close behind is white. And then you got Native American, and then black, and then I think Asian and others. And I would seek out black women back in the day, or black girls when I was a teenager, because that's who I wanted to date. That's who I wanted to be with. And I would actually go looking for them because that's what I was attracted to. And my friends, thought were kind of weird, but they got used to it. That's just how he is. That's what he likes. And that's how I grew up. And, it just, now I'm seeing it so much more often. And back in the day, I would be asked, hey, man, what are you doing? Why are you with her? What are you, like it was something weird. Now it's like, hey, I see this black woman. How do I approach her? How do I talk to her? And with me, I'm no guru. I don't know the magic secret sauce, how to approach a woman. I'm just an everyday guy. And when I approach my wife, I just talk to her. And yeah, I stuttered. Yeah, I didn't say all the right things. Yeah, I was a nervous wreck. And I knew she was going to kick me to the curb and I was going to embarrass myself. But actually, she liked me. And when I talked to her about it, she says, you know what? I said, did you even understand what I was saying because I was so nervous? She said, you know what? I didn't need to. I seen it in your eyes. And I found that a lot of black women that I talk to, it's not so much how you present yourself, it's being genuine. Mm-hmm. And I thought about that, and I was like, you know what? With my wife, I liked her for who she was, and it was real. But anyway.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like when guys approach me, I don't give me all of the slick talk. I don't want to don't try to impress me with that. Just be yourself. And I find out that, sometimes people show you what I call their representative, it's not really who they truly are. I prefer the authenticity of, I would think it's so funny and so cute if you were stuttering in your words while you're talking to me. Yeah. Because that's sincere. I would see that, like you said, your wife said, the sincerity in your eyes. I would see your body language to know that it was real and it was true and it was honest. I think if men realize women really want that and they can accept that over the slick talk and the bourgeoisie, whatever it is that you're trying to portray to me, and I'm looking at you and thinking in my head like, okay, this guy is crazy or whatever, like I want to see the vulnerability. I want to see the honesty in you. I want to see that in you as a man, because that's what I, as a woman, am attracted to. That's what's going to attract me more to you. If I see, oh, he's really genuinely nervous and talking to me, that's so cute or whatever, and I'm gonna I like that though. Those are the things that I'm attracted to. So I prefer a man to just totally be themselves and be honest. It takes too much energy to be someone else.
Yeah, and what I want to add to that is I've seen white men and white women, when they approach black people that they're interested in, that and I've heard this is a big turnoff. They try to project themselves in the stereotypical way to try to appeal to that black woman, that black guy, and try to I talk in some stereotypical slang or whatever, and not just being genuine. And a lot of people tell me that's a turnoff. And a lot of black women tell me that. They say they don't like that. It's fake.
I remember why, because so I feel like for the longest time, even lot of white men with black women. I always had a feeling white guys wanted to talk to black women, but we both have these social. I feel like white men are taught to stay race loyal, and black women are taught to stay race loyal. And everybody else can do what they want, and it's just love, and it doesn't matter.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, so I just feel like for the longest time, like I would like know white guys would like stare a lot. I would just see that there was an attraction. I would just like see that like clearly, you know, you are attracted, but it's just like they don't know how to handle it or what to do with it. But when white guys approach and they have that fake accent and all that, huge turn off. No.
And definitely don't try to come towards me like you're a black man. You know what I mean? Being a white guy, like don't think because I'm a black woman I want to hear the slick talk. I want to hear the ethnic or the you know, the ethnic talk or the bonics or anything. Like I don't like, that's not me, and I don't even want a black man to come to me like that. So I definitely don't want a white man coming to me like he is my ethnicity, trying to relate to me. It's nothing wrong with walking up to a woman, introducing yourself, your name. You can say, I'm beautiful. May I have your number? I would like to take you out. That's the simple stuff that we really just want to hear as far as the introduction. You don't have to do anything fancy. You don't have to do none of that. Just be honest, open, and sincere in your introduction. And I think that as women, we can see that the genuine in that, you know, than fake stuff, because I'm gonna literally just really quick shut you down and turn because that's a turn off for me. That's definitely a deal breaker. Don't, because I'm gonna see straight through the phony, right? I'm gonna see straight through that. I think that white guys are now starting to be a little bit more brave in approaching and letting black women know that they are attracted to them. I'm starting to see more of that, but there is still some hesitation with some Caucasian men, and I think it's still a society thing, a family thing, a friends thing. You know, they worry about what other people are going to think or say about them, about this attraction that they have to a black woman. So I think once that they can break that barrier and be brave enough to say, I'm going to do what makes me happy and not try to be the people pleaser or the crowd pleaser or the society pleaser or my family pleaser or my friends pleaser. I think that if they can break those barriers down in their own minds, that you will see it a lot more, as we're starting to see it more now, but even more because I almost have like a radar where I can read, where I feel and know that a Caucasian man is attracted to me or another black woman, and I can see it but they won't go over, they won't approach, they won't say anything, but they will stare at the woman or they'll stare at me if I see it. And it's just so funny, you know, and I just kind of smile to myself and it's almost like saying, yeah, he's not there yet because he won't approach the woman. He's not there yet.
Yeah, and let me iterate on what you're saying. With white men, I'm going to give you just a little thing in my mind and other men I've talked to. And when we approach black women, with me, I was just so attracted and I had that fear and rejection and all that. But I just wanted to be with that woman so much that I just said, heck with it. If I'm going to embarrass myself and look stupid, I'm going for it. And that was just me. But a lot of us white guys in general, I'm not speaking for everybody, I can't. But a lot of times we don't want to offend black women. We want to present ourselves in a positive way. And we don't want you to think that we're going after you for that experience, that one-time thing, because we want to see what it's like to be with a black woman. You know, we don't want you to think that. Those of us guys that are genuine, that want to have a relationship, we don't want that image to be projected. And then we don't want to offend you either because, you know, the stigmas, the stereotypes, everything that's going on. We want to, I don't know, it's kind of like we want to be that perfect guy for you and then let you know that we're not in there for a fetishization. We're not in there for an experience. We actually think you're beautiful. We actually think you're awesome. And we want to have a relationship with you. And that was my life story. I wanted to be with Black women. And of course, men are attracted to women. Men and women have desires for each other, yes. But it was more deep. And when I got to know Black women when I dated back in the 80s, late 80s and 90s, I found that women were awesome. And I liked being around them. Not just because they were beautiful or some kind of desire, but actually I wanted to have a relationship. And that's my story. And a lot of white men will hesitate because they don't want to offend you. They don't want to seem like this guy that's some creepy guy behind the shadows having a fetishization with you. And we don't like that image. And I hate when people say that white men fetishize Black women. I hate it. And I hate when white men go on YouTube and talk about having sexual experience with Black women, or just, I don't like that because it gives us a bad look. And, you know, I promote interracial marriages and dating and all that stuff. And I don't care which way it goes, men or women, what type of race. I just think that people should be with who they want to be with, who they're attracted to, who they think is beautiful, and who they can relate to. And sometimes it's someone of a different race. It could be a white guy with a Black woman, white guy with an Asian, Black guy with a white girl, Hispanic. It don't matter. If they're happy and they're good people taking care of each other, I'm all for it. And that just my look. But yeah, white guys, we do hesitate. But if they're really into, they're going to go for you. But they're going to be cautious because we don't want to project that negative image that society has given us. And
you know
yeah,
what?
and I get that. I understand that. But I think that for most Black women, if they see that in the white guy, most of the time the Black woman will not be offended unless he offends her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
So
right.
Now if he showing an interest and he's staring, and the woman noticed that he's staring and she smiles, that should let him know right there. That's a woman's way of leaving the leeway for the doors open to say,
yeah,
it's okay. I'm smiling back at you. I see you looking at me and you're smiling and I'm smiling. That's the door open for you to come and introduce yourself, because I'm letting you know it's okay by smiling.
Because
you know what I mean?
Because sometimes the staring is like, I've learned through other YouTube channels that like not to be creeped out at, because at first I'm like, why are you staring? And they'll be like,
exactly,
right? A lot of white guys, especially at work. I work in a all like white environment. It's like a lot of times, a lot of these guys just like, I'll catch them staring and I'll look over and they'll like look away real fast, and I'm like,
right,
what in the world?
They don't want you to notice.
But like, I just want to throw in that sometimes it actually can be a little hard to offend a Black woman, because not that it's hard, but Black men approach women very differently than white men do. Okay, Black men are very forward. They're not shy at all.
They're more aggressive.
Way more aggressive.
I've heard that, and even my daughters. And they say they're turned off by it because they're so aggressive.
They're way too aggressive. So I don't know if you remember this advice from Kevin Samuels. He said something like, "If a man asks you to smile, it shouldn't be a problem." And it's like when you smile, you never know what you could be, saying it's okay to come over, especially if he's a Black man, because Black men are just like, when they want something, they'll come right over, and they don't even like tiptoe. They don't beat around the bush. they'll talk
straightforward.
about
Yeah.
your body. They don't even know you. They'll be like asking some super sexual question on the first second or something like that. So it's like, it's just funny that it's just these two spectrums. Black guys are so like shy and careful not to offend, and like black men don't really care about whether or not they offend you. But it's like for black women, we're kind of trained to, especially if you grew up around black men, you're more trained towards them and like how they react towards you. So sometimes you don't know how to react with someone who's like more calm. You know what I mean? You don't know that it's attraction. For the longest time, I did not know it was attraction. And I spent a whole year in Australia. Like when I first came out of high school, I went to Australia for like a study abroad. And I don't know. I just assumed that like white men didn't like black. I still assumed it was wrong. I didn't think white men dated black women. So I didn't even go there with the thought that I would be dating someone. Yeah, I was like, oh, but I mean, I was like, oh, so this is attraction. And I would get so much like attention and so much like, it was just like, it was my first real like divested experience. And I was like, I have to explore this. Because I started going to a lot of other white countries, like mainly white countries. And it's just like the experience I got that was there, like in Europe and Norway and Sweden and stuff like that, and Australia. It's just like I started seeing all different kinds of white men. And like, you know, it's just like I've just gotten away from just being around, because I grew up in Philadelphia. You know, I grew up around one kind of black man my whole life. You know what I mean? So I just didn't have the experience of even being around white men to know like how to interpret, you know, their coming over, whether or not they were attracted or anything like that.
Oh, believe me, they're attracted to you. And like I said, white men are cautious. And right now we're moving into an era I haven't seen before in my life. And like I said, I grew up, and when I started dating in the late 80s and 90s, I approached black women because that's who I want to be with. But a lot of times when I approached a black woman, she would pause and be in like shock. Like, okay, are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
you're talking to me. Okay, where are we going with this?
Yep.
And I would just have to just sit there and wait a minute, see if she's really interested, and whether she's going to say, you know, kick me to the curb or have her arms open and say, yeah, let's do. I didn't know for like a split second, and that was just society how it is, and. You know, now it's more open. I see it all over the place. And me and my wife talked. We're like, wow, you know what? We're seeing these young kids interracially dating all over the place. And it's like, it wasn't like that when we did it. Yeah, it was out there. Yeah, you could do it. And our generation, you know, 2 years before we were born, you hear about the Loving versus Virginia case where the sheriff actually kicked in their bedroom door because it was illegal for them to be married. And some states were like that just a few years before me and my wife were born. So things have drastically changed, and interracial dating is going to increase big time. And I tell people this, and I tell a lot of black women this. And when people I see on YouTube running down black women, and I don't know why. And what blows my mind is when I see black men do it, I'm like, oh my God, what the heck's going on? You know, I don't see racist white guys doing it. I'm seeing black guys doing it. And I'm like,
because black men are, as much as they talk like that, something about them, they don't want to see us with white men for some reason. And that is, and I just got to say that, okay? Like, I don't even care. A lot of them talk like that, but they still see white men as enemies, and they see black women as dating you as like a betrayer. How could you talk to that white man? You know,
I can see that how that happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't understand it totally because I don't know, and I can't speak for black people because I don't really know. I grew up in a white neighborhood, white Hispanic, mostly Hispanic, but black people were a big minority. So the ones I associated with, the ones I were friends with, and of course the women I dated, that's all I knew. And my wife, she's a black woman, but she grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, more white than my neighborhood. So I can't really relate to that. I just go off of what I hear. And I've heard that, and you know, and maybe if you look historically, maybe I could see that, but
Well,
I'm
that's
not.
what I was gonna say. It's because of sorry not to cut you off, Brent, but it for black men it is because of the history of our people and
Yeah.
how even back then slavery and the white man basically took the black woman from the husband and the family and
Yeah.
and made it with her and had other children with her and made her be in the house with him and continuously forced. That was a forced thing. So it's a deeper thing. It stems back to that for black men, and that has to be worked out within our own community, within our black community first, in order for them to get an understanding outside of that. It's certain things the black community,
I get that.
that has to be worked out within it, because I don't look at it when I see a black man with a white woman. I don't look at it as, the black guy sold out, because to be honest, to be honest, another reason why I know that this spectrum of interracial dating is gonna really grow more and more, because the truth of the matter is statistics show that more of our black men are more incarcerated. They're a lot of them are deceased because of the black crime that's being committed against each other with the gang violence and things of that nature. It is a shortage of black men. It's like for every black man, it is for every one black man, there is 5 black women.
Yeah.
So the incarceration, the criminal side of it, and all of that, there is a shortage. So women are going to find themselves, whether by hook or crook, going out and eventually broaden their horizons the same way I did, and leaving the doors open to date interracially. Because it depends on the age group too. It depends on the age group. Like now you're finding more of the younger generation, your Z's and your Y's and your, the millennials, because they're meeting these white guys. Black girls are meeting these white guys because they go to high school together. They go to college together, and they're meeting very young now.
Yeah, no, and I get that. And I just want to say one thing. When we go into history and the sins of history in our nation and all this god awful stuff, I'll talk to anybody about racism and history and all this, but the thing with that is I understand that, but today I'm a man and I like who I like, and I try to be the best of who I am I can be. And I'm a white guy. Yes, Europeans have been god awful, horrible to other groups of people, and we've actually been horrible to ourselves if you really study our history.
Yeah,
you study European history, we've enslaved our own, we've killed our own, we've done the most horrible sins that could ever be done in a group of man, and I get that, and I'll talk to anybody about that, but and I get where that might be going, but
and to add injury to insult with black men, I think a part of it is they're looking at themselves more in depth, because I think a lot of it is a reflection on them, because sometimes black women will start dating outside their race because they wasn't treated right by black men.
Yeah,
And I
that
think,
might be right.
and
My
I think so.
thing is, yeah, I get that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think today's world, we just need to be with people we love. And you know what? I mean, you can crucify me on my ancestral history, and you're right. And you know what? I can't defend it. I can't argue it. But at the end of the day, we're all people. And you know what? And I'm attracted to a certain type of woman. And you know, I have no problem with black guys going in my neighborhood dating white women. I never had a problem with that. I've never seen it unless I. The only time I could see having a problem with that is if it was some woman I'm dating, he dates her. Okay, that's. But other than that, I don't. And you know, but anyway, you know, I don't know. This is a touchy subject when you get in racism and history and slavery and Jim Crow and all this stuff. I just when I talk to people about it, I don't know what to say. I'm just like, oh yeah, you're right. Well, your ancestors did that. You're right. Well, they did this. You're right. Okay, where do we go? All I can do is be the best person I can be. And you know, I don't know. I could.
You know what, Brent?
Best I can be. But anyway, I think we kind of got off subject. We're talking about something that the title don't even mention, and that's fine. It's all good.
It happens sometimes on stream. Sometimes it's hard to stay on subject, but you know,
Yeah.
it is actually a little bit tied in. But you go ahead and tie it in because this has a lot to do with why these dating cultures are so toxic. This subject that we're talking about is definitely tied in.
Yeah, and it is.
Mhm.
It is.
I
because-
agree. Especially the younger generation that is in such a need to lean in and sponge off of some of these dating gurus for advice because they may be confused, they may want more knowledge, they're seeking something. So we have to be careful with, again, like I said, who we listen to, who we allow their opinions to affect us or we choose to follow. These dating gurus, to me, in my opinion, are like religion, right?
Yeah.
Like in every religion, there's some truth, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's where you have to be careful at. In every religion, there is some truth. But each person chooses what religion they want to follow, unless they atheists, that they want to follow according to what they feel fits them, their lifestyle, their morals, their values, the way they were raised. And that's how people choose, religion and things. So people are going to choose to listen to these gurus, relationship gurus, on how to date, who they should date, why they should date them, what they should look like, how much money they should make, what kind of car they should drive, what, on those standards, right? Because each one of these gurus tells some truth in some things that they say, right? So we all know that we can get some of that out of it. I've listened to Kevin Samuels. I've listened to Derek Jackson. I've listened to the Peterson guy. I forget his name, that is also now sort of like encouraging people to stay in type of marriages, that he's saying that, no matter what, you should stay for the kids and you should stay for this, and you should stay for that, even if you basically miserable in a marriage, which baffles me. I don't get it. So we have to be careful and selective of who we choose to listen to as far as these relationship gurus are concerned, because they all are saying some truth to things. So if they say 10 truths, but this one very detrimental thing is false or is a lie, then how do we decipher that? Like, how do we decide, should I continue to listen to them? Even though these 10 things he say are true, but this one thing that's really a deal breaker for me, I don't know about that. Like, how should I approach that? for one, they're not challenging these relationship gurus. They're basically just feeding off of what the thing that makes them feel good and how they were raised, their values, their morals, their tradition, and they're not challenging the things that are questionable. Mm-hmm. So I don't tend to listen to them to feed myself for what I feel I need at this time in my life for dating, because I feel like I'm a full-grown woman. I already know what I need, so I don't need a relationship guru to tell me. But I listen to them because I have conversations about them to my younger generation, my nieces, my son, my people that are in my relatives and friends that are in my life that ask relationship questions. When I'm having a conversation with my best friend who, we are middle-aged, we're baby boomers. We're right on the cusp of baby boomers. So, our way and tradition that we grew up on are different, totally different from what's going on now. So when I listen to them tell, these generation of younger adults or just people in general on how to be, or what type of man they should look for, what type of woman they should look for, how they should be making this much money, or how they shouldn't be judging. And you're judging people on a scale of what? Based off of what he say they are, not based off of what that man may like in that woman. So that's the part for me that gets tricky, is to say, okay, you said 10 things that make sense, but this one thing right here, it don't make sense. So we have to be very careful of that. And I believe that a lot of these relationship gurus can and will lead a lot of relationships down the wrong path, because you go in them for the wrong reasons. And that's just my personal opinion on that, because if I listen to this person and I base my relationship off of what this person said, what's that going to look like for me in the end?
Yeah, no, I get you. Lorraine, did you want to put something in? Because I got a lot to say on this.
Yeah, I wanted to hear what you had to say first, and then I was just going to kind of go over.
Oh, okay.
What you were saying, yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Yeah, these dating gurus, and I think a lot of it's entertainment. People like to watch it, and I've tuned into Kevin Samuels because it's kind of entertaining. And but when I listen to it and when I hear him come across and talk to these women, and I've made videos about it and tell my opinion on it and how they would say, Patrice, are you still there? I think we lost Patrice. Okay. But anyway, I've seen what they said, and I've made videos about this, and I'll add her. Okay, you're back. Glad to see you. Sorry, I don't know how you got cut off.
No, but anyway, that was my fault. Sorry about that. That
was you. Okay, I was just getting worried because I saw you drop off. But anyway, these dating gurus, and I watched Kevin Samuels, and I've seen him talk to these women, and Lorraine's on now. Hey, welcome.
What? I'm here.
Hey, hello. How you doing?
I'm here. I just turned off my camera. I just turned off the camera for a quick second.
Oh, okay. No worries.
To fix something. Sorry about that.
It's all worried. I was like, okay, what's going on? But anyway, these dating gurus, I've watched them, and I've watched this KS, this guy. I don't want to put his name out there so much because when I do, oh my God, I get the trolls come at me, and boy, he's got such a
trolls, Bryn. Welcome. I've attracted a few trolls myself. Okay, welcome the trolls. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I know it is. Actually,
it's gonna happen. So for me, I don't have a problem with calling out their name, because they are teaching. They are what they say. The masses are listening. Somebody is out there like leading their life and listening and taking in what these people are saying. Even with the Derek Jackson thing, I mean, look at the prime. He's a prime example of trying to tell somebody else what type of relationship and what type of person to look for, and what guy is not good for you, and this and that. And then look at what he goes to do. So to me, people, they need to be called out. I'm sorry, because whole situation with him, that's the hypocrisy, very hypocritical. And in my opinion, he is a narcissist. I'm just going to say it for what it is. Yeah. He has a narcissist personality, and women need to be very careful of listening to somebody that is not practicing what they preach.
Yeah, no, and I get it. And I watch his Kevin Samuels thing, and I made videos about him because I felt like some of the women he was attacking, I was like, oh my God, they're not that bad. Yeah. And that woman that Average at Best that went viral, I was like, okay, I would say she's above average at best.
Yeah.
She's not a supermodel, but I mean, she's got positive things she could offer. And you're going in on her like she's like total garbage. And she made 7 or 6 figures at her business. For a woman at her age is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm 51. I make 6 figures, but I'm on my second career. I didn't make 6 figures till I got to my mid-40s. I had to work hard. I had to invest money. I had to get the right jobs to make that happen. And, I've been blessed, but she did it as a woman alone.
At 35. 35.
Huh?
I said, and she's only 35.
Yeah, and she just wanted a man that made what she does because she don't want some guy coming in, draining her resources that only wants to be with her because of what she has. I got that. Did anybody get that? And I was like, oh my God. And I made a video and I got so much troll, so much attack. And I don't know, maybe because I'm a white guy going in, expressing my opinion. A lot of people say, "Yeah, you're a white guy. Stay out of black people's business." But
oh please. You know what?
I don't even go there.
Don't even listen to that, Brent. Don't even listen to that. Don't even.
No, because you have a vested interest in black people now because you have a black wife.
My family's black because of my wife.
And you have biracial children that are half black, so you have a vested interest in the black community as a Caucasian man that have married a black woman. So don't fall into that trap. And that's the trap and the guilt trip that they try to make white men and black women fall into when they are together as an interracial couple. And that in and of itself is toxic in the community, right? Even in the relationships of men and women in general. People will try to put you down and make you feel a way because of something that's going on inside them that they need to deal with.
And I don't even understand this black people. It's like you're on a public platform talking to a woman like that. Like, what do you mean? You're on YouTube. Yeah. You're on a public show. Like, what do you mean stay out of black people's business? There was another YouTuber who her name is Cassie West. I've done a live with her as well. Also, you know what? I'm gonna put a few other channels in the chat for you guys to check out because they're really good channels, I'll do that. Okay? Yeah. So Cassie West, I'm gonna link her for sure because she's married to another YouTuber called David West, and she also spoke up, and she's a white woman, and she's just like, guys, this is not normal. She's a 6-figure earner. She's not asking for a 50 billion, billionaire celebrity, A-list celebrity. She asked for a man that makes 6 figures. I don't know if this is like, news to some of these men, but 6 figures, especially if she's like in the low end of 6 figures. That's not really, but that's not really like a lot of money. Okay, that's not really like
especially after taxes is no longer 6 figures.
You're in a really high tax bracket at that point. Okay, so if you're making 150, you're paying a lot of money in taxes, and then your lifestyle as well needs to reflect. Then you have business expenses. So the woman was like saying, you know, this is not normal. Like, what is wrong with you? And people like, and they told her the same thing. Oh, you're a white woman. Like, what are you talking about this for? Mind your business. And I'm like, no, I don't want to hear that. That's completely besides the point. Because the problem with that video, if you noticed, in that video, he told her, "Women like you die alone." Remember, he said that. He's
Yes,
like,
I
"Women like you
remember.
die alone." What that means is you would die alone before you ever met a man, a black man that earned what you earned. So like, why are you waiting for that? It's like, you know, it's like this. You know how Kevin Samuels fights for the average man, like, you know, the guy who makes $30,000 a year. That's his whole platform. That's his whole, like, you know, his whole foundation is for the average 35K a year black man. It's like, how dare a black woman not want a man like that? You know, how dare she have a little bit higher standard for herself?
And you know, I think that's a generalization, because where I work, there's two black guys that I work with that I'm good friends with, and I think of them as my brothers. And we all make six figures, and we do pretty well. And they've chosen the same path I did with the military and where we ended up. And I don't know. I mean, but anyway, with the dollar amount where a value man, what did he say? High value man makes six figures. Well, I know a lot of men that make six figures that are total hot garbage.
Thank you.
I'm just going to say that.
Yes,
and you know,
absolutely.
Back in the day when I was in the Army, and that's the only income I had, me and my wife, I could take care of her. I could pay the bills, and just off my income, we could make it work. Yes, we had to budget our money. Yes, we can only do certain things. Yes, we couldn't just spend money. But you know what? We had a good life, and we had fun, and you know, we would scrape change together to go to a movie or have dinner every once in a while. And you know what? That's high quality.
Yes, thank you.
I think when you put the finances,
she supported me, and we took care of our kids. I mean,
the finances become a problem because the finances become a problem because the highest rate of divorce is due, number one, because of finances. So if you're just looking for someone only want to meet someone that makes what you make, you will be selling yourself short. I will say that, because if every woman say they want to meet a rich man, a wealthy man, but you're not wealthy, you're not bringing the wealth to the table, you may just get exactly what you wish for, but that wealthy man may treat you the dirtiest, may be a womanizer, may be an abuser of women. So you need to be careful what you ask for when it comes to material stuff and a wealthy man or a six-figure man, because it's the potential of the man, and it's the honesty and the heart of a man, the intelligence of a man. Those things I see more attributes for me as a woman than necessary because he's making six figures.
Yeah, a man's character definitely speaks louder than the money in the bank.
Absolutely.
But and that definitely matters. But to say that, like, you know, basically he's telling her, and the thing about it is that he's the one that's putting this message out there about what about the average man? What about that? You know, he's the one that's acting like average men are, you know, being overlooked, and you know, they're being left out, and you guys need to marry them too. But it's like there's plenty of men out here that are making, you know, that are making more than enough to support themselves. They're not like, I don't understand this like fight for the average man thing. That I think that's kind of weird. But I
think that's because he probably value himself as an average man, but he's trying to portray himself as a high-end man.
Well,
now that he has this platform,
an average man, and he is an average, and he kind of exposed his average, you know, his humble abode by accident.
Yes.
You know, so we know he's an average man. But it's
exactly.
average men have no problem getting women. Like everybody's not going to be six-figure earners. Okay, that's and
Exactly.
no one asked for that. Like everyone's not going to be a six-figure earner. But if a woman that wants a man with six figures to demonize her and act like, oh, are you nuts? Are you crazy? You're going to die alone because you dare ask for someone that did exactly what, that's doing what you're doing. Like, what? There's no six-figure men out here, and then the idea that like all men who earn six figures only want women that are 19 years old or younger, and like these ideas that he knows what high value men want.
That's very toxic.
The most toxic part.
Yes.
Of it.
Yeah, it is. And the fact of the matter is, there's more people that make average salary than make high salary. Yes, okay, so everybody is not going to get what they want when it comes to matching finances. It's just not going. That's just not reality. And so I don't look for that myself per se. If I meet a man that I'm attracted to that happen to be a six-figure, so that's great. But at the end of the day, you have to realize that's his six-figure salary. That's not mine and what I aspire to be. I've been in relationships where I've made more money than the guy, and I've been in relationships predominantly where the man made more money than me. I have no problem with it either way, because at the end of the day, I still want that man that I'm making more money than to still be the man in the relationship.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that I make more money than him. I still want him to be the lead of the head of the household, the leader,
but
the man in the relationship.
If you were earning $80,000 a year, and the guy you're with, would you be with the guy that earned $15 an hour if you were earning $80,000 a year? Is there not a limit that you think this is not healthy because that's just too? There's no way a man can feel like a man in the relationship if his own quality of life. Because I feel like at a certain point, you should not be dating right now. You should be focusing on your purpose and getting your life in order. That's what you should
absolutely.
do. For you to
absolutely. And there is limitation. Like right now for me, I would not. It wouldn't serve me a purpose to wait to date a guy that only made $15 an hour. Being in my age and where I am.
Yeah,
it'll be a catch-up game. Not saying that he's not worthy. He's the man, and I can see the potential in that man. But for me, at my age and where I am in my career and what I'm doing in my life, it will not be beneficiary for me to wait on a man to catch up.
And that man would be using you straight up. That man would be there to use
right, and that man would probably be more predominantly need to be with a woman that's where he is right now, and they can grow together. They can grow their careers. They can grow together.
Yeah, you're right. When we get into dollars amount, how the quality man making and that six-figure thing just drives me nuts, because I'm just like, the quality man is the man that provides for his family. The quality man is the one that sacrifices for his wife and kids and puts them above himself. Now, my grandfather raised 4 kids, and he drove an ice cream truck, and he made it happen. And his wife never worked a day in her life. And that was a quality man. He had a house. He had a car. He made work. Was he rich? No. Was he in the high-end earning? No. But the thing of it is, it's what you do with the money you make. My father always told me, he says, son, it's not so much how much you make, it's what you do with what you make. Are you going to save it? Are you going to invest it? Are you going to put it the right way or not? And I've seen people that make 6 figures, in the mid 6 figures, that are in debt, that can't manage money. I've seen it. And it's disgusting. And I got family members living in a trailer park making $40,000 a year that can pay their bills, that can send their kids to college somehow on that lower end. And maybe because I'm in New Mexico, where our median income is $47,000 a year, which is I don't know, 49 behind Mississippi, which we battle for on the low end every chance we get. But what I'm saying is, if you manage your money right, you're doing things as a man you're supposed to, it's going to work. And, you know, six figures is beautiful, but it's not really that much money. And a
Right.
man my age, I make six figures, but I'm not wealthy. Yes,
Right.
I own
And
my house.
understand, and also understand, if you in a state like California, six figures is nothing.
Yeah, if I'm in California, I'm not
Like,
so high. I get
exactly.
it. But if
So
I'm in Georgia, you know, my brother lives outside of Atlanta, and he's got a huge, bigger house than I do, paying less and living better with less money. I get it. It depends on where you live. But what I'm saying is I don't know. It's how you manage your money. And a high value ain't the dollar amount. It's what you do with the dollar amount.
That's correct.
And my thing is I'm kind of a traditionalist. I've been married to my wife, and I believe in marriage. I think divorce should never happen except for two cases. If it's adultery or you're being abused. If those two things are happening, you need to get away. Other than that, you need to stay married. You need to live that traditional life. That's just me. And I don't go in on people that ain't married, that have kids and all this. I don't get into that. I just know how I choose to live, how I've been brought up, and that's what I choose. But you know, with this dating guru stuff, and you know, a quality man making six figures, and a woman with the size 4 dress size, and all this craziness. It's like,
well, he was analyzing a guy too. I listened to one particular show where he analyzed a guy
body part
and asked about his private part, you know, as to say, well, if you're not a certain amount of inches, you know, no woman is going to want you. Or, you know, if you 200 and something pounds and dude, you're 5'6", like you're obese, like who's going to want you? And like those are the things for me that are problematic when it comes to the Kevin Samuels.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, there's somebody out here for everybody, regardless to how much you make, what you look like, what your size, or whatever. That's the thing. And sorry about that. I was getting a phone call. And and everybody needs to be with who they're attracted to, what they're attracted to in that person. But if you're going into relationships based off of what Kevin Samuels is telling you that a person needs to make, or what Kevin Samuels is telling a woman that a man has to be a certain size and all that, you're definitely on the wrong track for that. You're on the track for destruction. I've known and have friends that have went into the relationships for the wrong reasons, and they never last. They never last. If you're not going in with the good intentions of love and building together, no, regardless to what the man and woman makes, but you're still building together. If I make $100,000 a year and my fiance or my husband makes $80,000 a year, then that means we make $180,000 a year together.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the difference. It's not, oh, I make 100 and you only make 80. Oh no, then what does that mean? Yeah. So I don't want you because I make $20,000 a year more than you.
Yeah, and
you could be the one.
That's the difference that woman was asking for. The woman, Kevin Samuels is the one that put out this 6-figure standard that the women never even asked for. The women asked for a man that earns a decent amount of money, which could be $60,000 a year, $70,000 a year, $80,000 a year. Because we don't know if she's at 100,000, 200,000, 300. She just said 6 figures. We don't even know where she's at. And you know, he's the one that kind of sets things up and makes it seem like the women are being unreasonable when they're just asking for basic, regular things. And like, I wanted to talk a little bit more about like some of this other like really like toxic like advice as far as you know, how high value men should be treated. You know, like, 'cause apparently you're supposed to you're supposed to be sleeping with a high value man by the third date because, you know, they're really busy. They're really busy men. They have
That's funny.
Okay.
by the third date, you're supposed to be
Oh,
sleeping with
so
them
a high value man moves fast, right? Okay.
So your relationship is basically going to be off the schedule of the high value man. You're
I
going to
guess
literally
so.
have to
And you
call
get-
and make appointments to set up to see each other, to date, to have relations. Like, come on, like
That
that's
is-
right.
crazy.
And if I'm a high value man, you better be a supermodel,
Yeah.
and you better have a size 4 dress size, and you know you got to be. And no, I'm just rambling.
You
But
know,
yeah,
it's just humans in general, like our human nature is not to value anything that comes free, cheap, or easy. You know, when things come easy like that, we don't value, humans don't value things that we get for free, that we get that's too cheap or that's easy. You buy something from the dollar store, you know it's just from the dollar store. You're not going to treat it like something that costs, you know, $3,000.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Our time.
Absolutely.
Time is the value. People value things that they have to put time in and they have to like work up to. You know, that's why there's only so many, you know, gold star, highly decorated Olympic athletes, because of the time that it took for them to get to that position. And even like the kind of jobs and the careers that you go in, you know, nobody values the job at McDonald's for flipping burgers. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If that's what you have to do right now, then that's what you have to do. There's nothing wrong with it. But to say that, like, you know, that's a highly valued job, or, you know, we don't value that because it doesn't take a lot of work to get in there. People value the jobs that the interview process was rigorous. It took 7 years of schooling. The application process was rigorous. There was a whole like background check, all of those hoops you have to jump through. Then finally you get the call that they want to offer you the position. You know that feeling when you got the job. You know what I mean? Everyone has experienced that feeling when I got the job. You get in there, you're like, I got this job. And it's like you want to hold on to it and like cherish it and like, you know, just bask in that accomplishment. So to say that, like, you know, you're supposed to be just throwing it around every third date if the man is so-called high value, like, that man you're going to put yourself in the McDonald's category in the man's head. He's going to put you on the fast food menu.
I definitely don't want to be in a type of relationship where I feel like I got to make an appointment just to see you and date you and spend time with you and have relations with you because you're so busy. Like, I don't have a life and I'm not busy and I have to sit around and wait on the one that's the high valued salary man. I have to, like, my life have to revolve around his. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
No, he says, get rid of your cats and dogs because pets are an annoyance to men when they come around. You know, they don't want to be bothered with pets because, I don't know, he doesn't like pets for some reason.
I am on dating sites right now, and I see more men with cats and dogs than I see women.
I don't know what world this man is living in. Like, what world is this guy living in?
I don't know. I'll tell you something. When I was into my wife and I wanted to get married, you know what? I didn't care what she had. I didn't care how much money she made. I didn't care what she was bringing to the table. I just wanted her to marry me because I loved her. And what happened to that? What happened to a man that just seeking a woman that just wants her to bring herself, her loyalty, her love, and her beauty, and that's it? What happened to that?
Because we're listening to society tell us how we should have relations and marriages, and we listening to relationship gurus
and
that telling us how we should be with high value men and women.
And you're a simp, Brant. People like you.
I'm a big simp.
Yeah.
You see this is a hockey jersey. I forgot to put the simp on there. And that's a thing that drives me crazy because men that express their love and admiration for women are called simps. And I never knew what that word meant until someone called me that. And I was like, what does that mean? He told me I'm a sad simp because just somebody on the internet, because I made a comment on Kevin Samuels' video when he went out on that average but best woman. And I said, she's above average and she's successful. She's got stuff to offer. Why are we attacking? Oh, you're a sad simp. Well, and I've been called that because I express how much I love my wife, and I'm just thinking, wow. In my opinion, the real simp is the one that can't put his wife and kids or girlfriend and kids above himself. That's the selfish. That's the real simp. The guy that's around at 65 trying to be the player, trying to hook up with women when he don't have a wife, when he don't have kids, when he don't, that's the real simp. The simp ain't the guy that sacrifices everything he's got for his wife and kids. That's the real man, in my opinion. And I just tried to dig into this word. What's simp mean? The opposite of pimp? Okay, what is a pimp by definition? Someone that prostitutes women. And I know they don't mean it that way. They mean it in, I guess, like a ladies' man type thing. And I think what a lot of people, what they meant by simp is like someone that lets the woman control the man, and he just, yes dear, whatever you want, yes dear, the weak man. But that's not where people go with it. They look at a man that puts the woman and kids above himself as a simp, and that's bizarre to me. It's like, does that make any sense? A real man
because the men, a lot of the men now that are being raised by a certain generation of women, and even some men now, is sad because they didn't come from the generation that you and I came from, where those morals and values and traditions were, we were raised on that. You were raised on that. Now most of them are not raised on that. They're raised totally different, and a lot of them are being raised in single households as well. That is affecting not having both parents in the household. Sometimes being raised by single women, there's not that male masculinity in there to teach these men how to be men. Not having any male figures to look up to, and they're society driven. They're listening to a lot, and it's sad to say, but a lot of it is even starting and being taught in the schools early about relationships and what you, and then you got your peers and you got your friends, and you got these relationship gurus. You got all these people telling you how you should be and what you should do. They're being raised by society. They're not being raised by the morals and values, especially the old school ones that we come from. So they're looking at us as, oh, it ain't like that no more. I'm even finding out a lot of the younger generation, some Gen X's, but mostly millennials, Z's, and Y's, they're getting more into the poly lifestyle. They don't even believe in being in monogamous one-on-one relationships anymore.
What's poly life?
Poly is where they can date multiple people, and they can date multiple people of the same sex and different sex. Like that is being pushed, you mean like more.
All together? Like,
oh yeah, like a guy can have multiple women, and they can all be like sister wives in a household. God, that is going on. I'm finding out more.
I'm very traditional, and a lot of times when you're anything, no one knows if I'm in a relationship or anything like that, because I don't talk about myself at all. Only thing I say is I'm not married, and I will be married one day. Okay, I'm very sure of that. However, it's like people act like this traditional men and traditional women and people that still have traditional values, and people today, it's like anything goes. The world is full of a bunch of weirdos, and a lot of times these guys are raised on television. Because I can tell you how often,
and videos, music videos,
and games and stuff like that, and because they'll say stuff like the world is blue pill, the movie
Red
lied
pill.
to me in a. No. They say that entertainment and the world around them is blue pill. They say that they were taught to be these simps, and then they had to learn female nature because they saw a movie where a woman acted a certain way, and then in real life, women don't act like that. And I'm like, well, yeah, it was a movie. It's not real. And so
Right.
they're like, they come into the real world after watching too much TV, and they're all disillusioned with reality and with women in reality.
Yes.
So now they're like on this like rage of revenge, and they want to get even with somebody. But I'm like, it's not real. Y'all watch too much TV.
And we cannot forget reality TV plays a part too.
Lord,
whether
have
they are
mercy.
watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta or whether they watching the Kardashians. Like television, media, music videos, reality TV, relationship gurus, because they all are saying some truths to things, and they just take it and they run with it, and they don't challenge the problematic things. And so this society is totally different from how, Brent and I were raised on our traditions. To us, to them, we're old fashioned. To them, we're behind in the times. To them, we're, don't nobody live like that. Don't nobody have relationships like that. I hear that a lot from a lot of the younger generation.
What were you saying, Brent?
No, I just want to thank Eris's donated $20. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Love your super chat. That she's been awesome. She's been big supportive of me, and I do appreciate it. And I seen that. Thank you very much. God bless you. Awesome. You see it on the chat, and that's just awesome. I didn't know
I can't see them, but shout out to your moderators and your subscribers.
Oh yeah, my mods are awesome, and my subscribers, I love you. Oh my God, if I could give you all a hug, I would. And even though I don't know you and haven't met you, I can truly say I love you, and I just want you to know that. But anyway,
that's sweet.
I just wanted to say that, yeah. And
yeah, so
I enjoy doing this, and the following I have, I appreciate it. And whether it's 1,000 or 5 people, I will appreciate it. And I love you, all you guys, and you two ladies that come on. I love you and appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. That means a lot to me. It really
you're
does.
welcome, and your panel is going to grow much more, Brent, because you continue to have these very interesting topics, and these are things that need to be talked about. The interracial dating and marriages is growing and growing more. Statistics is showing that, and it's gonna be more conversations to be had in regards to these different topics and subjects. So thank you, yeah, absolutely, for having us.
Oh, thanks. No, I just always want to put a positive aspect on interracial marriages because, I've seen such awesome value with Black women, and that's been my preference. But it's not. It started out with how they looked and their beauty, but it went deeper than that when I got to know them. And with my wife, I just want to show the positive people can have. And me and my wife been married several years, and gosh, I can't wait to get off work to come see her. And if
that's the feeling I want to have again. I want to have that feeling again in my relationship and marriage.
And if we're going, a lot of times I come home from work, I'll get a shower and I'll grab a blanket and we'll just wrap up together in it, watch a movie, or we'll go outside and just look at the lights in the city because we live like in the suburbs, but you can see the city, and we'll just look at it, and we'll just like do our snuggle thing and talk about our kids and our granddaughter. And I look forward to, and true love is actually being so excited about your wife now when we're older as much as when we're younger, when we first got married. And I still feel that. And I just want to let people know the positive I've had with my relationship. And
that's awesome. I commend you. That is so awesome. And I can't think of any woman out here in the dating scene that really is looking for true love that don't want to have a man to feel that way about her. Like, I just can't. I know for me, I definitely can't wait until I get to that point in time again and I meet my Mr. Right and have that feeling again.
The answer is not to settle for these losers that are trying to make you like lower your standards and lower your options, and just the way that they try to chip away at your value because you have kids, or like most women who are like over the age of 30 probably have kids from a previous marriage or previous relationship. That's very common. A lot of people's first marriages fail. A lot of people first marriages fail. And so they might have a kid or two from that first marriage. But I see single mothers get married. I see single fathers get married all the time. So like this, like chipping away, they're like, oh, you're less valuable now. So don't you dare date with standards. Don't you dare date with like, you need to submit to the high value man's 3-date rule because he's busy. This is a that's we're supposed to be taking seriously. Like, come on, there is some truth to some of like, I've found some truths in this red pill world. Okay. But I really consider the truths that I find to be like this whole space to be like medicine. You're supposed to take, when you're taking medication, how you take like the prescribed dose. But if you take too much of it, if you take in too much of this space, it becomes poisonous and toxic. And even though it could have helped you if you only took a little bit of it in, now you're like overdosing. That's when people are so freaking, crazier than ever. Like when they stay in this space too long.
It's like over medicating.
They're overdosing on this information because you just need to take away what matters, like the little bit that kind of makes sense. But like, this is not a space to stay in for 10 years or any amount of years, to be honest. Like there's some truths here and there. Okay. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And you're right. And, when it comes to high value, it's the character, it's the heart. That's the true high value.
Yeah.
And, I would just say that some of these dating gurus have some good advice. They got some good points. I give them that. And, with this Kevin Samuels, I always thought he was a jerk and he treated women bad. And this Derek Jackson, when I looked at his videos, I was like, man, this guy, he's pretty good. He's throwing some positive, maybe a little too much pie in the sky, you might say, but at least he was being positive. Mm-hmm. And then he had this thing with his wife, he cheated, and that's never good. But I always thought that this Derek Jackson and this Kevin Samuels, if they got together and put their heads together, their popularity, the money they can make would be enormous. Because you got one guy telling you to marry down or die alone, and you got one guy that's giving you total positive, high in the sky. And you might get a good balance. Okay, don't expect everything to go your way, and don't expect rainbows and unicorns. But then again, you're special in your own right, and you have positive. You can improve.
Well, Derek Jackson was getting ready to go on tour with TD Jakes, with the big mega pastor TD Jakes, until his whole scandal broke out. And that's the closest thing that I can relate these relationship gurus to. And it's sort of like the religion in the church and the pastor that preach every Sunday, but they're not living the lives that they preach about. They're telling you, to be abstinence until marriage, and, don't live with the person, don't fornicate, don't commit adultery. And then they're doing all these things while they're preaching to you on Sundays. So it's like the hypocrisy of it all, right? Of that. The Derek Jackson gave very poignant statements that he made, had millions of followers, made millions of dollars. And it doesn't matter that he's been exposed as cheating on his wife and having multiple relationships and all of this, because there are still women that are still following this man, that are still going to be dedicated, and into the Kevin Samuels too, because it's funny how what's that?
Eris again sent me $20 for date night. Hey, thank you very much. My wife Sandy and me love you very much. Thank you. That's so sweet. That's beautiful. I just want to recognize you. You don't have to do that, but thank you. It's beautiful. You just made my
Yeah,
day.
so
But anyway,
yeah,
sorry to
so
interrupt you, lady. I just had to throw that out there.
absolutely. Yeah, so it's women that still, regardless to what Kevin Samuels, the toxicity that he spews out of his mouth too, they're still gonna follow him, they're still gonna call, they're still gonna subscribe, they're still gonna, they still gonna
Yeah.
do these things, just like the women that are still dedicated to Derek Jackson after all of this. Yeah, it kind of baffles me, but
Yeah.
when the women that call in to Kevin Samuels, to me, is like women that are looking for validation.
Yeah.
They're looking
And-
for a man to validate them, and then they get talked to like that, but they rather for the man like a Kevin Samuels to talk to them like that than their best friend to tell them the truth about themselves. They'll get mad if another woman tells them the truth about themselves and guys and what they should look for in a man, but they rather have the Kevin Samuels of the world talk to them down like that. And that's sad, but it's true.
Yeah, and it's true. And you know what's the psychology of it? I think us as individuals, no matter who we are, we have insecurities. A lot of us have low self-esteem at times. All of us do. We're human, and I think he feeds off that, and people psychologically believe that if someone's putting them down, they're being real with them.
Mm-hmm.
And oh God,
she'll come back on. I think she dropped out. Yeah, she'll come
sorry
back
about
on. Yeah.
that.
Sorry, guys, I'm here.
I was like, okay, I don't want to delete nobody. But I think it's psychologically that these women believe if someone's putting them down, they're being honest with them. They're being true. But these women, a lot of them I see have value. All of us have value. And we need to, these dating gurus need to focus not just on how we look so much, but what do we have to offer also? If I weigh 500 pounds and I come on your show and say, hey, I want to date this supermodel, you're going to look at me crazy and say, you know what? That's probably not going to happen, but you're a good person. You got a big heart. You have this to offer. How about, you improve these areas and we could get you there? I don't see that in there.
Right.
When you want to go at someone, that's fine. Be honest, but let them know how they can get to where they need to be or where they want to be. And I didn't see that. And with this woman, average at best, that just totally upset me because this woman wasn't ugly. She wasn't
I didn't think she was ugly at all.
And she was successful.
Yeah.
What more do you want? Not all of us look like beautiful movie stars, right? She can have a high value man that makes 6 figures. She can have that. But some guy that rates himself a 10.
Delusional. And you don't think you're delusional?
The one thing I agree with him on is he said Kelly Rowland's a 9. I agree. Yeah, I'll give her a 9. But
I think that depends on who you talk to. If you get a group of men in the room or get a group of women in the room, get a group of 20 women in the room and see how they rate Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
Well, I
he wouldn't be a 10. He wouldn't be a 9. He wouldn't be an 8 as far as I'm concerned. And I think the numbers will be different with each woman almost. They would. Yeah. I believe they would give him an average. I really do.
He always tries to act like men are the ones that make these determinations, But I really believe that men, first of all, beauty is totally subjective, okay? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Because I used to think that way when I was like really young. I used to think that like, oh, she's not that attractive. How did she get him? And I saw that a lot of times. And I was like, maybe he saw something in her that he just really liked, or maybe they get along really well, something like that. So like I cut that out a long time ago. I know it's not all about looking like a model or being a model or whatever, because when men are looking for something real and something like what they want and need for their lives, they can look deeper. And it's like they don't have to get someone that the world sees as a 10.
And for the most part, beauty to the standards of society is very superficial right now, because you got so many women getting the fake this, the fake that. But authentic, true men, they tell you that they like the woman in her natural state and with her natural hair.
Yeah, no, you're right. And let me iterate on that. I see what people see as beautiful now. You take Nicki Minaj, or you take who's that other famous rapper?
Cardi B.
Cardi B. They've had alterations done to their body, right? Because men think that's beautiful. And you know, if you got natural body parts that are like that, that's a part of you. But what I'm saying is, people see that as beauty. You take some woman like, remember Whitney Houston when she was alive? That woman was beautiful. She didn't have a big chest. She didn't have a big butt. She didn't have these features that societies are saying is beautiful, but she was a beautiful woman, right? She was. And, you know, she had a beautiful voice. Her songs were awesome. I loved her. I listened to her music, and I still do, but it's tragically how she went out, but drugs will destroy anybody. But what I'm saying is she was natural. Her beauty was her beauty. There was no alterations. There was nothing that she went along with society. She was who she was in that aspect. And us as people, we need to be who we are and do the best with what we got. You know, if you're a woman that's skinny and don't have a big butt or big chest, you're beautiful. You can be beautiful. If you're a plus size and, you know, you exercise and you're healthy, you know, you can be beautiful. It's not about, I don't know, we get so much caught up in society and Hollywood and what the media tells us is beautiful. We don't really see the real beauty. We see what they tell
and that's sad, because these little girls are growing up with a total different mindset of what beauty truly is, because of what they see on TV and on music videos and in the magazines, that's telling them what the standard of beauty is. And it's so far from the truth, because there's nothing more natural and beautiful than natural beauty, just what God gave you and what you were born with. Yes, is it okay to enhance some things? I have no problem with enhancing some things, but you know, society has made it the standard. Now, I'm not saying every now and then a little nip and tuck, you know, as you're getting older, a little nip and tuck here and there, especially if you're in Hollywood. I get it, but if it gets excessive and it gets you become addicted to it, because this is what it is causing for the younger generation of women. It's causing an addiction to wanting to continuously, oh, my butt is not big enough, so I got to go back and I got to get it bigger. Oh God, my breasts aren't big enough, so I got to go back and I got to get it bigger. You know what I mean? Or I gotta continuously have plastic surgery. My nose is still not straight. It's just still not as straight as I would like for it to be. And then they get caught up in the addiction of that, of what the standard of beauty is. But then you still have women in Hollywood that are your natural beauties, like your Angela Bassett's natural beauty, your Alfre Woodard's, your naturally beautiful women that have done little to no enhancements when it comes to plastic surgery and things of that nature. those are the women that I can appreciate. That I'm loving watching them grow old gracefully, and they embracing the beauty, they embracing their natural hair, they
And
embracing
a lot of these men don't allow for women to because they're also using like very unrealistic standards. Like I said, they stay in the movies a lot, and they come out into the real world, and they're holding real women to these standards. And most women are not going to be a size 4 dress.
Exactly.
That's just not realistic. So I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's stupid. And a lot of women are not even healthy at that. I've never been a size 4 in my life.
It looks like they're starving. It looks like they're anorexic.
I would look crazy at a size 4. I already know that's not
me too.
That's not my size. Like, I know my size.
Absolutely.
I know when I get a little too skinny, because I've seen myself a little too skinny before, and I know it's just not it's not a good look for me. You know what I mean? But like, I believe that women set the standards for men, and men set the standards for women. Okay, because women date men and men date women. So it's nice that Kevin Samuels thinks that he's a 10 in his own head. But since you're not dating yourself,
he's a 9.
Oh,
he's got some humility. He's a 9.
Okay. Well, I'm
right.
I'm so glad that you have such high humility and you have rated yourself a 9. Okay, but
Right.
since you don't date yourself, and since other men don't date you, apparently, I mean, I don't know, but as far as you say, you date women. So women are the ones that have to look at you and judge where they think you are. All right. The same way women have to look at men. The same way men have to look at women and judge where they think they are. And it's each to their own person. Like, I could look at this one guy and be like, oh, that's not my type. Like, I've never been attracted to the type with muscles. I don't like a whole bunch of big, bulky muscle man. That's not my type at all.
Me either.
But some women look at that and they like that. Like, what?
They're
like,
attracted to it. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, for me, that's not for me. I'm not attracted to men that have too many tattoos. That's just that kind of brings you down a little bit in my eyes.
Neither am I. The same thing.
Yeah, but it's like some women like that look. So it's suggestive. I mean, it's subjective. And then there's other things too that can make you attracted. But I mean, this like standard that he sets that he thinks is the law, or I don't know what standard he's using, but it's just like, it's completely not realistic. I don't know why anyone's listening to it. Most importantly, no one should be listening.
Because again, they need to feel validated, and they know that men are the ones that they're attracted to, and it's attracted to them. So they feel that they have to ask a man, because if that man tell them that it is what it is, and that is so
you should be
asking
a man like Brent, who's been married happily for 27 years, not a man that's been divorced twice. Okay.
Exactly. That's the same with, I agree with the whole thing with Steve Harvey. He writes a book that think like a man, and here you are, been divorced 3 times, and trying to tell me how to keep a man, how to like, come on.
But his movie was entertaining. I did enjoy it. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was fun to watch, but
it's not reality. Yeah.
Exactly. You're trying to be the relationship guru now, and your life is so far from you're living that life that you're trying to tell other people to lead. If you're going to be out here on these platforms doing that, you should be leading by example.
Exactly. And
you should not be getting exposed for cheating on your wife with multiple women, like Derrick Jackson. But you're trying to tell somebody else.
If you're not practicing what you preach, then your word means nothing to me. A lot of these men that's out here talking, their word is worthless. Their word means nothing. I listen to men who have, their lives are examples of the words that they say. There's another like relationship guru that I want you guys to check out. I'm going to put a whole bunch of channels in your comments.
Okay, yeah, put them in. I'll check them all out.
I want to listen to men like Brent. I want to listen to men like Brent. I want to listen to men like Denzel Washington. I want to listen to men like Samuel Jackson, men that have been married to the same woman for 20, 30, 40. Those are the men that I want to get there.
So there's a channel that I follow. I actually followed him more for his business advice, because he has small business advice too. But he's happily married, been married, I believe, for like 15 years. His name is Tony Gaskins. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he's
I heard of him.
Yeah, he's got, sometimes I don't think I agree with everything that he says all the time, but his truths are like, you know, his life is an example of a life that he lives, that he tells you to live. His life is an example of that. You know what I mean? And his advice is for women and for men. It's realistic. It's way more realistic to me than Derek Jackson's was. But it was some of the things he would say sounded like common sense. Probably it sounded common sense after you heard it, but it was like gold to my ears. I was like, wow, I never thought about it like that. You know,
for the most part, if you have logic and been raised on right and wrong and morals and values, for the most part, we don't need anyone to tell us what's right and what's wrong when we know what's right and what's wrong, right? So it's just like listening to these relationship gurus that, you know, that tell us these different things or tell us that, you know, what type of relationships we should be in. I think if you really know yourself as a person, you already know what type of relationship you should be in, because you should know already what you're attracted to. You don't need a best-selling book to tell you that. You don't need a relationship guru to tell it. I don't need a relationship guru to tell me that infidelity is wrong, because I already know it is. So it's like
right, yeah. But his advice is more so for the dating market, like what to do, how to text, how to talk to men, how to handle when certain things come up in the relationship. Certain things like, what do you do if the man raises his voice at you? You know what I mean? I never knew how to handle that. What do you do if you're feeling a little bit insecure? How do you handle that with respect for your relationship and also standing up for yourself in your relationship? His advice is like, it's more realistic. It's not just about like who to like or who not to like. His advice is way more realistic than that. And he kind of showed me like how to actually handle situations that I've actually been in, that I always handled wrong, but I didn't know how to handle them. And for one, I didn't have a father growing up, so I didn't have a man teach me how to do that. And a lot of us girls didn't have fathers and didn't teach us what to do and how to respond. And so for someone else who may have been raised with both parents and they know what that looks like, and you know the right way to respond, because for me, that's always been my issue. How do you respond when someone says something in your relationship that you don't like without, for one, coming off too emotional or coming off too needy, but you want to stand up for yourself? You know, you don't want to accept any kind of disrespect. You know what I mean? When do you walk away? How do you handle it properly? And it's just like way more strategic. And
how to know when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, and how to know when you're in an abusive relationship and different things. I can see if you giving me something that's good for me that I can feed off of, especially if I'm going through it or have been through it, because you can advise friends, or you can say, hey, look, I experienced this, and I'm going to just tell you the reality is this is what the outcome is going to be. Okay. Prime example. I had a friend that dated married men for a long time, time. And being always told that, listen, these men, for the most part, they're not going to leave your husband. They're wise for you. And what you're doing is wrong, and it's going to come back to bite you, because one day you're going to meet a man, fall in love, and get married. Would you want him to cheat on you with another woman? Then it'll be another woman in your marriage. You know what I mean? So look at that for what that is, right? And then that situation happened, and it was sort of like a karma type of thing. And it's like you have to look. She said, now that I'm married and I'm a wife, I look at it totally different now. When I had no respect for the wife when I was the other woman, now here I am, the wife, and my husband has another woman, and I'm feeling a type of way. I say, so yeah. So if I'm in a position, I say, look, I did that before. It was the worst mistake of my life. And I will advise you not to do that, because the end result is going to always be bad. Number one, 9 times out of 10, the husband is not going to leave his wife. And number two, one day you're going to be a wife. Would you want another woman to do that to you? So things like that, if they are giving those type of advices to our younger generation, then I'm all for that, because you're going off of real life experiences, real life results, and things of that nature. Give me something that's going to be tangible, realistic results that I can get from in my life, or attribute to my life, or advise someone else. Those are the things that I pay attention to. I'm not finna sit here and tell my girlfriend, well, you ain't nothing but a 6, so just know you're not gonna get that 6-figure guy. Like, you know what I mean? It has to be realistic things. And that's where I think that, where I say that, you know, you need to be really careful on the type of people that you're giving your energy to, you're giving your time to, you're giving your hours to, that's putting this stuff in your head. Because if they tell you that it's blue when you know it's green enough, you're going to start to believe it's blue, and you know it's green. So you have to be careful of what you letting get in your psyche.
Okay. I was waiting for someone to go off on that. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of lost here.
No, I just want, you know, especially the younger generation, to be more cognitive to what they're feeding in their souls, in their minds, and to know to always challenge these things. You know, when they come up with these relationship gurus that are problematic, like your Kevin Samuels and your Derek Jackson, like they're problematic relationship gurus trying to tell someone else how to run their relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, and
my suggestion would be to them is to always challenge, you know, their doubts and their fears and their questions when they don't agree with something. Challenge that person as to say, why is it that you think that that's the best for me? Why is it that you think that I should do that or be that way, or only be subjective to one type of person that I need to look for my love interest? Like, challenge them.
Yeah, and here's the thing with these dating gurus, you know, a lot of it's not experience, a lot of it's not. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my shoes in. A lot of it's not so much their experience or what they really have to offer. A lot of it's packaging. A lot of it's presentation. If you look at Kevin Samuels, you know, in his set when he goes live, it looks beautiful. You know, he's got the lighting, he's got that little thing that moves around, and I mean, it looks pretty neat, right? His presentation is really good, and wearing a suit looks professional, and he's good at what he does, and he presents an image. He packages it well. And a lot of people follow that and believe in, hey, this guy's professional. He knows what he's talking about. He looks nice. His background looks beautiful and all this stuff. And a lot of women fall into that, like believing he's the professional. He's the one that's going to give them the good advice. And a lot of these women get tore down when they come in, but if they can come in and not be torn down so much, it validates them. Or maybe if he says a few good things, it's validation. And, you know, if they get ripped down, other women are too, and it's just being real. A lot of people that I see on the internet say, well, he's being real. He's telling these women the truth. He's not sugarcoating it. He's not giving them, you know, unrealistic things. Well, I disagree. I think, you know, they have more value than what he's giving them, and he's focusing too much on the negative, you know. And I'm not saying tell these women, yeah, you're beautiful, you can have this, you know, this wonderful guy that looks like a Brad Pitt or a Denzel Washington that makes all kinds of money because you're that great. I'm not saying tell them that, but tell them they have something to offer. When has he said, look, you're here, this is where you, but what I see that's good about you, you need to focus on that. You need to lift that up. You need to put that more into play. And then you can work on, I don't know, whatever he thinks is a negative, like maybe he thinks you're overweight. You can work diet and eat healthy, but you're lacking here, but you're great here. Where is that? Where's the balance? That's my opinion.
That's because he's the hottest thing, and he's like the shiny object right now that everybody is following. Women love shiny objects, and they get hypnotized by the shiny object. And right now, Kevin Samuels is kind of serving that purpose for women that are lonely. They want love. They're looking for love. They want to be validated by men and love. And not that I'm saying anything is wrong with that. And then Kevin Samuels came up with this great idea that if I get on social media, on YouTube, and I tell women things that I think they want to hear, I'll be that shiny object, and they are hypnotized right now.
And he's the man is tapped into something, and he's caught lightning in a bottle. He really has. And I got to give him credit. The man has packaged it so well that even though he might have failed marriages, some people think he's gay and he likes men. I'm not going to get into that.
I would love to see him debate a man like yourself or a Denzel, or like I said, men of a great stature that's been married for many, many years. I would like to see him debate a man, an intelligent man, than what he tells these women.
That'll never happen because he's a wealthy man. He's famous. I'm an everyday blue collar guy. I mean, I'm the average white guy out there. Yes, I do very well. Yes, I live in a good neighborhood, but I'm just the average guy. He won't even. The man would never entertain debating with me. I wish he would. Oh, that would be so awesome. But guys like that, I don't think would even entertain that, unless
because
but I'm just the everyday guy. But I see beauty, I see truth, and I bring my truth. When I say I love you, I love you. When I say Black women are beautiful, they're beautiful. I'm not hiding nothing. I'm not. And when we talk about dating gurus, you know who the best dating guru is? The one that gave me the best advice ever in my life, the one that steered me straight, the one that led me on the perfect path that any man can lead me on. You know who that is? That's my father. My father gave me the best advice in my life.
Yep.
And he did it with Bible scripture, and we were a traditional family, but he cared for me. He wanted me to be successful. And the girlfriends I had in my life, he said, "Son, I don't feel good about this." When I introduced my wife, my Sandy, to my dad, you know what he told me? He says, "Son, if you mess this up, I'm gonna choke the shit out of you. Because you got a blessing in front of you." No, he did. And he told me what to look for in a woman. He told me how to treat a woman. He told me the value. And he based it not just what he was saying, he based it on Bible scripture. He said,
I think a lot of these women didn't have their fathers to lead by example, or to show them what it is to be a man in a relationship, because they didn't see that with their mother and their father if the father wasn't in the home. And I think that's lacking a lot with a lot of the women that call in to him. I don't believe that they had that father figure, that male figure.
A lot of these gurus, they didn't have a figure either. That's to come they're giving all this wayward advice because they've never seen it themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, these guys are making lots of money. They're famous, and I'm not against them being famous or making money, or they're entertaining. But the thing of it is people need to take it as entertainment, not as reality. If you want good advice, you go to your father. If you don't have your father around, how about an uncle? How about your brother? How about someone that actually cares about you? Someone that don't want you to slip into something that's toxic, something that you can't get out of, that wants you to find that man or woman that actually loves you, that will be there for you. Because at the end of the day, Derek Jackson, Kevin Samuels, do they really care where your life goes? Do they really? I mean, do they pray? Do they lose sleep at night praying, oh man, I hope that woman I talked to finds a good man? Do they really do that? Or is it just something they do? Is that their work? I'm just, are they in it for profit? Or are they in it to help people?
I believe in both of their instances more for profit than for helping.
Yeah.
I really do.
So,
Yeah, it's definitely more so for profit. I mean, especially when, like I said, it really shows when these people don't practice what they preach and don't live the kind of lives themselves that they tell you to live. You know what I mean? The other kind of relationship advice experts that I follow are, and like I said, I just take it as advice, sort of like medicine. You take the proper dose. You don't.
I mean, nobody's perfect. Yeah.
Huh?
No,
Yeah,
I'm just saying
exactly.
nobody's perfect. Yeah,
Exactly. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
So you don't take any of their word as gospel. I wasn't distraught when Derek Jackson fell, because I'm like, he's not a God.
Yeah, I
He's
wasn't
not
surprised
somebody.
either.
Yeah, it's like, no, he's an imperfect man. So you don't take, you take it, you take the proper dose. If you sit there and you overdose on it, then you take too much in, and so you're too invested into these men that can't really, really can't help you. So the kind of men that live the lives that they tell you that themselves, that they tell you to live, they're practicing what they preach, they're happily married, their lives show it, they have kids, they're not giving all of this, especially this toxic advice, some of this like really weird advice that no woman should be taking or listening to at all. Like, would you give your daughter that advice?
Exactly.
By the third date?
Exactly. Oh, you hit a point, and I made a video about this. I said, you know what? If you want to hear good advice, listen to what a man tells his daughters.
Yeah.
And what I tell my daughters, I would never tell them to date down or settle for less. I would, and if a man wants to date them and tells them they want to go 50-50, I'd tell them kick them to the curb and never look back.
Yeah.
Because I want my daughters to have the best. You're right. You hit it on the nail on the head. A father that loves his daughters gives the best advice.
And to always follow their intuition, because it'll never steer them wrong. Women don't realize we have a thing called intuition. It is the greatest soul of a woman that God blessed us with. And a lot of times we choose to not follow that, and we ignore the red flags. We ignore a lot of things in the men because we're driven by the emotion as a creature. But I think that'll come with time as women mature. But there is something in us called an intuition that we have that is such a great inner strength of a soul of a woman, that if we really truly tap into that and start to adhere to that more often, we will be in better and healthier relationships. We will choose better mates. We will be in healthier relationships if we did that. I know for me, as the older I've gotten, I definitely sense the red flags and follow my intuition and things like that when it comes to men being on dating sites and communicating with men, and going on a meet and greet with the man, and just trying to see if the chemistry is there, the connection, the communication, the attraction. But I look for things like consistency in men, like be consistent in what you say, mean what you say, do what you say you're gonna do, your follow through, all of those things. These are just natural things that we as women sometimes choose to ignore those red flags when the man is sending us the signal that he is not consistent, that he is, that he's gotten caught up in some lies here and there. We choose to ignore a lot of red flags. I think for the most part, if we follow the basic standard rule following our intuition. When we feel that something is off and not right, 9 times out of 10, it's the truth. And I don't need a relationship guru to tell me that.
I hear you on that one. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I have to get ready to go, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, so do I. I got to get ready and
tomorrow
for the appointment.
Yeah,
But this was awesome. This was
we've
great
been on over
conversation.
2 hours.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. It's so much to cover. So yeah, just look for more and better topics to come. Brent, you're doing a great job in capturing the right topics to talk about in interracial dating and marriage. So kudos to you, and thank you for having me again on your panel.
Oh yeah, no worries. You're welcome anytime. And Loren, hey, thanks for joining. You're one of my mods, and I love you. You do an awesome job, and come on anytime. I've enjoyed this panel tonight. It was beautiful. It was awesome. I had a good time, and a lot of points that came across were awesome. And you know, this was a good show, and I love having you ladies on. You're beautiful ladies, and I love you.
Thanks
you. For being part of the show, and come on anytime.
Yeah, thank you for
oh yeah, and I'm gonna check out your candles. I'll buy a couple off you.
Oh, okay.
My wife loves that. Too. My daughters love it. We'll get some from you. But thanks for coming on, ladies. It was a beautiful experience. It was awesome. And my next show, my next live, next Sunday, I'm going to try to do the call-in show. I got OBS uploaded on my computer. I got me a new computer that's fast, that can do good things. And I'm going to try the call-in show. I'm going to try.
Cool.
I got to search for a topic. And anybody watching, if you got something you want me to cover, shoot it to my email. And I'd rather cover what people that watch me want me to cover than just me picking something, because I want to relate to what you want to hear, not just what I think you want to hear, you know. But anyway, I'm going to try the call-in show next week. Father's Day, I'm not going to do a live show. Me and my Sandy are going to do a video of Father's Day, and we're going to spend time with our family. And my oldest daughter, when I brought her home, was Father's Day, so it's like a holiday to us. So we always celebrate it, and it's a beautiful thing. But anyway, ladies, thank you for coming on. Thank you for making the show. You know, it was awesome talking to you, and both of you, I have the utmost love and respect for you, and thank you for being a part of my show tonight.
Thank you so much.
Same to you, Brent. Take care.
If you ever want to come on, shoot me an email. I'll bring you on anytime.
Definitely.
Thank you. Take care. Again. Nice to meet you, Loren. Take care of yourself.
You too. Bye.
All right, ladies.
Bye.
Have a good night. And
have a good night.
Good night.
I'll see you next video and live or whatever. But stay in touch. This
we'll do.
Awesome live. Truly enjoyed it.
Okay.
All right. All right. Good night. Have a good night. God bless you and your families.
Same to you.
All right. All right. Both Loren and Patrice have left, and this was a good live. I enjoyed it. Both these ladies are special, and they all had good points. What we wanted to cover was dating gurus. We got a little off subject, but enjoyed it. We had a lot of good points, and I enjoyed this live. And all of you that watch, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I do appreciate it, and I do have big love for you. And if any of you want to be on any of my live shows, just shoot me an email. I'll make it happen. You know, this was a good night. It was very special. You know, had two awesome professional ladies on, and had a good time. And I'd like to do this again. And both the ladies are welcome to come on my show anytime. And mods out there, shout out to you, doing your job, doing a good job. Next show, I'm going to try to do a call-in show. And I got a new computer. I got a highly boosted computer, so you should be able to handle all that stuff. And my Wi-Fi is pretty good, so we should be able to do a call-in show next week. And thank you, Self Love Heals, for that $5 donation. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Big love to you, and big love to all of you that watch. And this was over 2 hours tonight. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. It was a long show, but I enjoyed every minute of it. In fact, if the ladies would have stayed on, I would have still been on. And I just had a good time tonight. This was really special. But I'm going to try to do the call-in show. If the call-in don't work, I'm still going to go live next week. And if you want to be a part of that, I can still have a guest on, and we can still do a call-in. That ain't going to hinder that. So if you want to be a part of the live show, shoot me an email. The hockey jersey giveaway. I got 3 people that have sent in their answers to the questions I put up there. One person got all the answers totally right. Amazing. And if you don't act by midnight, the contest is over, and that person will win. But if you're still interested, answer the questions I put on my page, and we'll go from there. And if you get them all right with this other person, we'll have a showdown. But anyway, I just want to thank all of you, and big love to you. And those of you that have put into the Cash App, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't even know I had that option, but big love to you. And I do appreciate that. And thank you for all your support. Thank you for your prayers. And Loren, hey, thank you for coming on. And Patrice, thank you too. Both of you ladies, thank you for making my night. Thank you for making this show what it is. And if I did it by myself, it wouldn't be a third success as it was with you. And I do love you, and I appreciate you. And I'll see you on the next live next Sunday. And I'll try to shoot a video in between. And if anything you want me to talk about, just let me know. And Self Love Heals, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Love you. So awesome. And ladies that come on with me tonight, Patrice and Loren, thank you. You made my day. And Loren's one of she's been on my show, and she's one of my mods, and she does a great job, and I want to give you big love. And Patrice, that's the second time she's been on my show. But any of you want to come on, let me know. Send me an email, and we can make it happen. And tune in next week when I do the call-in show. That's going to be awesome. And if you want a topic you want me to talk about next week, shoot me that email. Let me know. And we can do that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this live. I'm supposed to have dinner with my wife tonight, and she's waiting for me. And anyway, Father's Day, I'll be doing a video with my wife, and I'm trying, between me and you, I'm trying to get my wife into this YouTube thing. I would love her to do more videos with me. I would love her to go live or do videos on her own, because she's so beautiful and she's so awesome, and she's so smart. Oh my God. But anyway, but for now, she says she'll do videos with me every now and then, and it's a beautiful thing. And anyway, have a good night. And Loren, hey, we'll check out your candles, and I'll order a few of them. My wife and daughter loves scented candles and stuff, and you will check out those channels you talked about. And Patrice, thank you again for coming on. And had a good night tonight. And all of you that watch, follow, and comment, and my subscribers, my mods, I love you. Big shout out to you. I wouldn't even do this YouTube stuff if it wasn't for you. But the love I get from you just motivates me every day. And like I said, we'll have another live show Sunday. And I'll shoot you a video in between. And I just want to say thank you. God bless. Love you. God bless you and your families. And I'll see you next time.